The snow's falling, the kotatsu's warm, and your backlog can't wait because we're diving headfirst into a brand new anime season. 2025 brought the heat with unforgivable bangers, emotional breakups, and a few surprise sessions. But now it's time to chill, literally and emotionally. Winter 2026 is here and it is rolling in with a cozy avalanche of romance and slice of life goodness, so grab your hot cocoa, snuggle up under that favorite blanket, and get comfy, because this season isn't just about peaceful vibes and quiet moments. There's depth, there's drama, and yeah, there's plenty of heart-melting animation to go around. Whether you're into slow burn love stories, wholesome school life comedies, or healing anime that make you believe in people again, this is your season. Let's unwrap this lineup like a late New Year's gift. This is the Winter 2026 Romance and Slice of Life anime preview, and trust me, you're going to want to keep the kettle warm. You know that one anime that's not bad but also never quite hits as hard as you want it to? Yeah, that's this one. Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You returns this winter, bringing back its blend of soft shōjo vibes, emotional confessions, and high school drama that simmers more than it sizzles. It follows Mizuha, a 17-year-old just trying to live a normal high school life, until not one but two childhood friends start catching feelings. What unfolds is a slow, sometimes frustrating triangle of emotional indecision, personal growth, and that constant question, what do I actually want? It's got shades of Blue Spring Ride, Say I Love You, and Wolf Girl and Black Prince, but with less emotional impact. Instead, it plays it safe. Soft visuals, quiet inner monologues, and love triangles that stretch themselves thin across episodes. Is it the most gripping romance of the season? Not quite. But if you're into low-stake love stories with occasional gut punches of nostalgia and sweet little moments, it's a cozy watch to keep on your queue. Just don't expect it to break the mold. Ever wonder what happens when your favorite idol isn't the flawless superstar he happens to be, but kind of a chaotic mess behind the scenes? That's exactly what you're in for with Taman's B-Side, a fresh character-driven rom-com that dives straight into the gap between public image and private identity. The story follows Kinoshita, a timid high school girl with a major obsession for Fukuhara, the charismatic center of a boy group Face. Kinoshita works part-time just to support her obsession, merch, concerts, the whole shebang. But things take a wild turn when she ends up working as a housekeeper in Fukuhara's actual home. And here's the twist. Offstage, Fukuhara isn't confident, cool, or camera ready. He's insecure, socially awkward, and low-key falling apart under the pressure of his idol persona. Watching Kinoshita navigate her way through this double life, fangirl versus real life's emotional part, becomes heart of the show. It's not just about romance, it's about performance, vulnerability, and the complicated space between who you are and who people expect you to be. If you like Oshinoko for its industry theme, or Skip and Loafer for its earnest, offbeat leads, Taman's B-Side might land perfectly in that sweet spot. What would you do to meet your crush? Switch schools? Change cities? How about pretending to be a boy and transferring into an all-boys school? That's the bold move at the heart of Hanakimi, also known as For You in Full Blossom. This classic shōjo manga is finally getting the anime adaptation fans have been waiting on for years. The story follows Mizuki, a determined girl who disguises herself as a boy to enroll in the same high school as Izumi, a high jump prodigy who once inspired her with his performance. What follows is a whirlwind of cross-dressing chaos, dorm drama, emotional close calls, and an even growing tangle of feelings that Mizuki can't quite control no matter how hard she tries to blend in. This one is peak 2000 shōjo energy. Think Orion High School Host Club meets Maid-sama, but with more gender bending and heartfelt confessions. With a modern animation glow up and years of anticipation behind it, this could be the blast from the past comfort watch of the season, or a gateway for new fans into the golden age of shōjo. You know that rule in anime, the childhood friend almost never wins? Well, this show is here to test the rule, or at least make it more complicated. You can't be in a rom-com with your childhood friend, takes the classic setup and leans all the way into it. It follows a group of childhood friends walking the awkward tightrope between nostalgia and romantic tension, the kind where a single wrong move could ruin everything. The main cast? Classic dynamic. One guy, multiple girls who've known him forever, all trying not to admit what's painfully obvious to everyone around them. But instead of falling into the usual rom-com rhythm, this one adds a twist. They're all actually trying to avoid becoming a cliche. They're aware of the trope and they're fighting against it, even as it keeps happening anyway. What you get is a romance story that's funny, self-aware, and generally frustrating in the most relatable way. The love triangles, messy. The near confessions, constant. The emotional tension, higher than it has any right to be. If you're into the energy of my teen romantic comedy, snafu, or just because, this one feels like a more chaotic cousin. Still emotional, but with way more denial and twice the pinning. You know those overpowered reincarnated characters who are destined to rule the world? Yeah, this guy wants no part of that. In The Hero's Party Had a Cute Girl, So I Confessed to Her, our protagonist, Yuki, dies in a traffic accident and reincarnates in a fantasy world. Not as a hero, but as a ridiculously strong demon. The kind of overpowered magic-wielding monster that usually ends up becoming the final boss. But Yuki, he just wants to chill. Instead of going full demon lord, he lounges around the castle as a low-rank guardian with zero ambition. That is until the hero's party storms the castle, and in a moment of boredom, he wipes the floor with them. That's when he sees Celsia, the party's beautiful priestess, and immediately falls in love at first sight. Rather than finishing them off, he heals the entire party, walks them to the exit, and casually confesses his love like this is a rom-com and not a war. What follows is pure romantic chaos. Yuki's a demon, Celsia is literally on a quest to defeat evil. Their worlds couldn't be more opposed, and that's exactly what makes it fun. Think level 1 demon lord and one room hero meets the devil as a part-timer, but with more awkward flirting, dungeon dates, and please don't smite me, I think you're cute moments. If you're into lighthearted fantasy romance where the strongest guy in the world is also the biggest dork, this one's going to be your winter comedy fix. Long nights, a quiet room, and the warmth of a voice coming through the speakers, sometimes that's all it takes to feel like you're not alone. In Midnight Heart Tune, we follow Arisu, a boy who's used to falling asleep, to the soothing late-night voice of a radio host named Apollo. Her show was his lifeline, until one day, without warning, she vanished from the airwaves. Years later, Arisu is a high schooler haunted by the past and determined to find the girl behind the voice. He doesn't know her name, he doesn't know her face, but something inside him says he needs to find her, to say something he never got to say. His search leads him to his school broadcast club, where he meets 4 girls who each have dreams of becoming voice actors or announcers, all with different talents, insecurities, and stories of their own. Among them, could one be Apollo? This isn't just a romance, it's part emotional mystery, part coming of age story. It blends themes of identity, connection, and the unique power of voice to bridge distance and time. If you enjoyed the introspection of Wave Listen to Me, or the layered emotional journey of the kawaii complex guides to manners and hostile behaviors, Midnight Heart Tune hits that sweet spot between nostalgia and personal growth. And at its core, it's about how the right voice at the right time can change someone forever, even if they don't know who's on the other side. Some love stories are loud and dramatic. This one's quiet and incredibly gentle. The Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife is a soft, charming romance built on trust, understanding, and the kind of connection that doesn't rely on appearances at all. The story takes place in a small detective agency where Yako, a capable and kind human woman, works as an assistant. Yako is blind, but she's perceptive in ways most people aren't. Her partner at the agency is Taname, a calm and intelligent invisible man whose ability makes him perfect for detective work. You would think invisibility would create distance, but here's the twist. Yako can always tell where Taname is. Even when he disappears completely, she notices his presence through sound, movement, and intuition. Over time, their professional partnership slowly turns into something more. A romance built on mutual respect, quiet humor, and an emotional closeness that feels natural and unforced. Rather than leaning into the gimmick of invisibility, the series focuses on everyday moments, shared workplaces, gentle conversations, and the warmth of being understood without needing to be seen. If you enjoyed the soft adult romance of My Senpai is Annoying, or the calm intimacy of the ice guy and his cool female colleague, this one fits right in, cozy, sincere, and deeply comforting. Heartwarming. The Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife isn't about spectacular. It's about two people finding each other in the quiet spaces and choosing to stay. What happens when pure, unapologetic 80s chaos gets dropped in 2026? High School Kamigumi returns with a brand new anime adaptation, reviving one of shonen's comedy's most absurd and gag series. Set in a perfectly normal high school, unfortunately populated by the least normal student imaginable, the show thrives on nonsense, slapstick, and rapid-fire jokes. The Kimigumi boys are loud, weird, and completely unhinged, barreling through daily lives with zero concern for logic, realism, or your expectations. Romance exists here too, but it's mostly fuel for jokes, misunderstandings, and comedic disasters. Is it subtle? Absolutely not. But if you enjoy chaotic comedy like Saikiki, Gintama, or Bo, this could easily become one of the season's most fun curveballs. Some fantasy romances are about saving the world. This one's about surviving it quietly. Champignon Witch follows Luna, a solitary witch that lives deep in the Black Forest, surrounded by poisonous mushrooms and burdened with a deadly curse. Her skin is toxic to touch, her breath can't kill. Because of this, she lives apart from others, feared as a black witch, in a kingdom ruled by white witches. Despite never harming anyone, Luna still travels to a nearby town to deliver medicine and buy books, watching from a distance as people laugh, talk, and live lives she can never fully join. This is a story about isolation, longing, and the quiet courage it takes to reach from connections even when it hurts. The romance here is subtle, emotional, and deeply human, unfolding in glances, pauses, and moments of dangerous closeness. This series feels like the ancient Magus Bride or Sameli and the Forest Spirit, but softer, sadder, and more intimate. If you want a romance that aches instead of rushes, Champignon Witch is one to watch. Villainous stories usually revolve around redemption arcs and second chances. This one skips straight to the affection. The villainess is adored by the prince in the neighboring kingdom, follows a noble woman, falsely branded a villain, only to be rescued and openly adored by the prince from a rival kingdom. There's no scheming, there's no survival game mechanics, and there's no need to rewrite fate. Instead, the focus is on healing trust and learning to accept the love after being discarded by the world. It leans heavily into the classic shōjo fantasy romance, flowing dresses, gentle dialogue, and slow emotional reassurance. If you enjoyed My Next Life as a Villainess, Snow White with the red hair, or I'm the Villainess so I'm taming the final boss, this will feel instantly familiar. It's not trying to reinvent the genre, it's here to comfort you. What happens when two people, both misunderstood for their beauty, finally see each other for who they really are? In the Clear Moonlight Dusk is a soft, introspective school romance that explores identity, perspective, and quiet emotional intimacy. The story centers on Takigawa, a girl admired so much for her cool, princely appearance that no one ever stops to ask who she really is. That changes when she meets Ichimura, a reserved boy carrying his own complicated relationships with expectation and self-image. Their romance unfolds slowly through awkward conversations, gentle honesty, and moments where silence says more than words. It's elegant, restrained, and emotionally mature. Fans of Kimi ni Todaki or Blue Period will feel right at home here. This is the kind of romance that doesn't shout, it lingers. Opposites attract, but staying together takes effort. You and I Are Polar Opposites tells the story of two high school students with completely different personalities. One quiet and reserved, the other outspoken and energetic, whose lives start overlapping in unexpected ways. Their relationship is built on contrasts, clashing habits, mismatched communication styles, and emotional misunderstandings that slowly turn into growth. It's not dramatic for the sake of drama, it's grounded, awkward, and honest. If you like the realistic relationship dynamic of Horimiya or Kube Won't Let Me Be Invisible, this one taps into the same emotional realism. Romance that feels earned rather than rushed. It's simple, sincere, and quietly powerful. What if cleaning clothes meant healing hearts? Wash It All Away is one of winter 2026's most soothing slice of life entries. A quiet, heartfelt series about connections, memories, and the comfort of everyday rituals. The story follows Wakanae, a cheerful woman running a small laundry shop in the sleepy seaside town of Atami. Her work is simple, wash, dry, fold, but her impact is far deeper. This one's got the soft atmosphere of Bakaraman, the quiet reflection of Arya, and the emotional depth of March Comes In Like a Lion, minus the intensity. With its seaside visuals, warm lighting, and the score that feels like a hug, it's a truly healing anime in the purest sense. Wash It All Away is perfect for viewers looking for peace, warmth, and a satisfying feeling of watching something small mean something big. What would you do if you suddenly woke up in another world? Panic, power up, try to go home? Not Lizelle. He just here for the good times. In A Gentle Noble's Vacations recommendation, Lizelle finds himself mysteriously transported to a city that looks a lot like his own, but clearly isn't. Most people in this situation would freak out. Lizelle, he hires a local adventurer named Gil, grabs a map, and treats it like a vacation until he figures out how to get home. He's just going to enjoy the sights, try some food, and maybe even live up a little. Nothing too serious. This isekai flips the genre on its head by stripping away the epic stakes and focuses on the slice of life adventuring, small guild jobs, quiet character bonding, and a gentle sense of exploration. There's no rush to save the world, just a charming guy adapting to a new place and meeting new people with an easygoing attitude that's kind of refreshing. If you like the chill energy of campfire cooking in another world, or the saint's magical power is omnipotent, this one hits the same comfort spot. Fantasy as a getaway, not a battlefield. With a soft art style and a duo that's all charm and chemistry, A Gentle Noble's Vacation recommendation is the kind of isekai you can unwind to, one peaceful quest at a time. And just like that, we've made it through the season's softest stories, sweetest romances, and coziest slice of life escapes. From heart-fluttering confessions to quiet laundry shop therapy sessions, Winter 2026 is proof that anime doesn't need explosions or end-of-the-world stakes to leave a mark. Sometimes all it takes is a little honesty and maybe a cup of hot cocoa under a kotatsu. Whether you're here for the slow burn love, small town comfort, or just something that makes you feel a little less alone, the season's got something for you. But now it's your turn. Which anime are you most looking forward to this winter? Which one feels like your next comfort show? And what do you want us to cover next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. And hey, if you really enjoyed this lineup, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video. Stay warm, stay soft, and of course, until next time, happy watching.